So tell us, what is SEO and why is it so important?
Um, yes, which is the questions I'm mostly been asked for in my agency. So SEO is basically just like search engine optimization, which is the process of getting organic traffic to your website, not the paid ones, but like the organic where people go to search engines like Google.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Business Mindset in Minutes. I'm your host, Nicole, and today on the podcast, we have our very own SEO expert to talk all about SEO and the world of SEO. So, without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Chris. Chris is an entrepreneur, a digital marketing strategist, and the founder of Digital Savvy VS. It is Chris's passion to help business owners, especially startups, to get the most out of the digital marketing space. She started as a freelancer, and since then, she has tried different positions from social media marketing VA to SEO specialist. Her experience is honed on digital marketing skills and strategy. And since then, she has started her own agency. Chris, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. Let us know a little bit more about you and where you are coming to us from.
Yes. Hi to all your viewers, and thank you so much, Nicole, for having me here. I'm actually from Philippines right now, currently living in the Philippines, and I started as a freelancer as well as and transition into becoming a digital marketing agency owner, and I have encountered different clients and learned the great things about being a VA and the problems that other business owners or my previous client have encountered. And for me, that's kind of like one of the things I really want to uh, solve in my agency right now for both the business owners and the VAs or my team to be comfortable in working in a digital and remote setting.
Awesome. I love that, especially with so much business going online. I think that's so
Yeah.
necessary. So I love that. Okay, so I'm really curious to jump right into the world of SEO. So tell us, what is SEO and why is it so important?
Um, yes, which is the questions I'm mostly been asked for in my agency. So SEO is basically just like search engine optimization, which is the process of getting organic traffic to your website, not the paid ones, but like the organic where people go to search engines like Google, type a keyword, and then your website pops out if the keyword fits in, and then go to your website. And that's like the whole process. And the importance of the SEO is that your market is already looking for you instead of you looking for your market. So it's easier to pitch to people that wants your product or services than actually paying some ads to go look for your customers and clients. And sometimes the targeting and geolocation gets messed up, or it might be a struggle in the long run. And with SEO, you'll be able to build up audiences or like potential customers, and also get organic traffic monthly, or like an estimate of like an organic traffic monthly. So I believe that's really one of the selling point of SEO.
Okay, interesting. I like that. I like how it is specific to not paid. It's all organic people who are searching for you.
Yeah.
So what makes you an expert in SEO? How did you build up your credibility in SEO?
Yes, so it all started when I was like a freelancer, and I think it all started when I was like probably a blogger when didn't do any freelancing gig at all. I was in college and did some blogging and I was writing, and I didn't know I was already practicing SEO then, or like putting keywords in my headlines or like adding keywords in my the content of my blogs. And then I went to freelancing, tried different industries, and I came up with SEO, which I haven't heard before. And then it's like, oh, this is something similar as what I was already doing before. The only different is it's more like there's a lot of things going on. Like I didn't know about on page, off page, and like technical, like a lot of things. It's same with a lot of different marketing platforms like social media marketing, where you start learning things a long way. So yeah, I started becoming like an assistant in an agency before, and then from there, when my project ended with them, I start doing more SEO as I have already felt comfortable with that industry, and then build my credibility from there. And I noticed that it works well when you have a team, because a team knows what they're doing in a specific field. Because again, SEO is like a really big, like a broad process. You have different um, types or methods to do. So it's way better to have like a team to do the technical side, a team to do the content side, and also the strategy and implementation. And that's when the agency came out.
Interesting. Okay, so I know SEO, it seems like it's a beast. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of different facets to it. So for somebody who doesn't, or like myself, who isn't very well versed in SEO, I guess what would you say are some of the main components of SEO that people don't typically think of? Like, I know there's so many different areas that probably you would know because that's your field, but me or someone who is not a specific specialist in SEO wouldn't know. So enlighten us on just a couple of the different areas of SEO that might be new to someone like me or someone who's new to SEO.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's like the three fundamentals of SEO, and we call it on-page SEO, off-page, and then the technical SEO. The on-page SEO is basically working inside your website, which is what you normally do when you're doing blogging, or when you do blogging and optimizing your website and like inside of it, while technical SEO is just the word technical, which is like the kind of like the coding. If you have broken links, which is really kind of gets complicated, and that's why where the web developer or probably designer comes in and fix that for you if it's really really complicated. And then here's the off page SEO, where you kind of like reach out to another website and link your website to theirs. It's like the basic or the simplest way of doing off page SEO. And from there, you have like a lot of options to do that. But it's kind of like social media marketing, doing like influencer marketing, or like doing like reach out to different magazines and stuff like that. But in SEO, it's kind of like how we say off-page SEO, where you link one to a different website.
Okay, interesting. So those are kind of the three main areas of SEO,
Yeah.
and those are the main areas that you work in as well.
Yeah. Basically, my work now is more focused on strategizing on what works best for the client for their SEO process. And I then delegate both on page, off page, and technical to different people inside the team and have them work on it based on the strategy that I created. So, for example, on page SEO, I kind of like brainstorm with our content creator as well as our VA, and talk about them about the things that we can do to improve the on-page site or ranking of our client's website, and that's the same with off page and technical as well.
Interesting. Okay, that's really cool. So, in terms of SEO, how long does it typically take to get a result when you optimize someone's SEO?
Yeah, you can really get a result as fast as 4 months, but then it depends on the scope of work that you're working for those months. So it can go 4 to 6 months, but the best result would be 1 year, as you have been building you have been optimizing your website for a long time, and that's where the consistency of organic traffic comes in. But you can definitely get them in like 4 to 6 months too.
Okay. So is that like having to constantly optimize your SEO within that 4 to 6 months, or just set it once and forget it, or how does that look?
Yeah, after what we do it in our agencies, that we did the evaluation and then the strategizing based on the website of our client, of like what is its status as of the moment. Is it really zero, or are we starting from 100 traffic a month, or 1,000 or something? And then from there we ask our clients what are their goals, like do they want a 2,000 monthly visitors in their website every month, consistently, like an estimate of 2,000, and then we work on that one, and then create like a strategy and then build out from there.
Hmm. Okay. So it depends on what the client wants typically.
Yeah, but most of them, sometimes we have been working with zero, from starting to zero, and what we notice is that in 6 months we typically get them to 3,000 organic website traffic,
Okay. So
and
you
that's like, yeah, and that's like the whole team are working on, because some clients just want an on-page SEO because of like the budgeting and stuff like that. So they kind of like want to work on specific fundamentals of SEO first before we jump on the next one, to like track their expenses and stuff like that, just so they don't go over budget. And some also just want everything to be done at all, and that's where a really fast track comes in, where like we can finish the project in 4 to 6 months.
Okay, wow. So it sounds like you really do it all.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. Okay, perfect. So if somebody is thinking for their business they might need SEO, how would they get started with that?
Yes, I do really actually have a SEO checklist on that one, which I will be sending on you, so you can give them to your audience for free. And you can start by getting into like, we recommend working on page SEO first, and we would recommend also for your audiences to, and for everyone who is interested to do SEO on their website, to follow our SEO checklist and go through from there. And we have the basic one, which is setting up a free tool to monitor your website's statistics and like the monthly website traffic. And there's like the Google Analytics and the tools in there, which are most of them are free, and we also added the paid ones, but you can definitely skip them if you don't want to pay them, and just have there and monitor them. And from there, you can start with keyword research and creating content for your website. And depending on what your website is about, let's say, for example, if it's e-commerce, then yeah, so work on page SEO, and this would include product descriptions, with adding keywords to your product pages. And if you're just offering services and doing blogs or stuff like that, then add keywords to your content that you have created, update your old blogs, and also add to your copyrights and copywriting in your website, see if you can improve them, and build out from there. And yeah, the checklist is there for you guys to go through more deeper on like improving your SEO.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, the checklist is below if you want to grab that. So now I'm curious as you're talking, is SEO something that you would recommend for most people to hire an agency like yours if they're interested in optimizing their SEO, or is that something that people could do on their own? How do you typically recommend?
Um, well, it always depends on what you really need right now or if you are really looking to drive people immediately to your um, website and you're not doing other marketing or other expenses in different part, then yeah, I would definitely recommend hiring an agency, especially if you are selling products and services and mainly focusing on your website. And if also you just want to know what it is about, then I would recommend for you to try doing it yourself. Or if you have so much things you're doing right now in your business because you're a startup or you're just getting started with your career or courses, then I would recommend hiring a freelancer to do the tasks just to make a feel if it is really for you or not. And if you find that it is for you and the current work is not giving you the result that you desire and you have the budget, then go for a digital marketing agency or an SEO agency to work for it. And it would definitely be worth it if you find the right one, basically.
Yeah. Have you come across any bad SEO agencies that maybe don't deliver on their promises, or have you ever come across that?
Um, I haven't really come across it myself, but I did hear from people who kind of like get us to finish the job and
Uh,
like this happened and so the person the agency just didn't show up anymore or like the freelancer didn't show up anymore and I'm already halfway in this project and I need this done. So those are the things that we kind of like encounter from a a third person telling us about a bad experience from other agency or individual. And yeah, so
and how easy is that for you to pick up where they left off? Is that difficult because you don't really have the notes of what it is that they were doing?
yeah, it is really difficult, especially if you don't know what they're doing, and if the client didn't even know also what they're doing, and you can't get anything from them, like any data, unless of course you can still connect to them, like chat them or reach out to them and they reply. But if they're really like out of the grid at all, then it's hard to take over other persons or like other teams work, especially if you don't know what's going on and you have to do all the work to like just find out which specific thing is not working and they kind of like mess up and have to fix it yourself or continue from there.
Yeah, I can imagine that could be pretty time consuming potentially if you can't reach that specific agency or freelancer. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say I have an SEO strategy in place or I'm looking to put one into place. How will I know if it's actually working?
It's always in the result basically. So as I have said, the first thing to like do is to set up a tool that will track your um, website's performance. And one thing that you have to look for is, are there really organic traffic coming in your website? And the other one is if your pay or if your website is ranking in the um, search engine that you are targeting, for example, Google or maybe Bing or Yahoo, but the biggest one is Google, of course. So a lot of us just want to be ranked in Google. And the other one is to see if you have like great backlinks, which means kind of like touch base to off-page SEO where people are linking your website to theirs. So let's say, for example, you are a fashion e-commerce business. You're selling clothing, and then some fashion blogger just kind of like link yours to their blog saying, "Oh, I love this," or like giving you reviews and stuff like that. It's kind of like the same with Instagram, basically, where people tag you in stories and like their audience see what you are selling or what your post services are, and it's the same with like seeing if they're also linking from you. And those like the three things that is really high in the mark. If also if you are really reaching your target or your goals, which is XX number of organic traffic a month. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. So those goals you talked about, the whatever number of traffic per month, is that a goal that would just be set by the customer, the client, or how is that goal set?
It's normally set by our client, but if the client really doesn't know anything at all, especially if they're not savvy enough to know about website, how website works, then we give them a recommendation and like some small like letter of like explaining what it is and just like trying to be in as simple terms as possible, just to let them know that this is the ideal one, and this is the our other clients are also um, doing or like aiming for, and the reason is this, and just like putting it in simple terms, and probably visuals help them understand what it is about and why they should aim for that.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm curious if you could give one piece of SEO beginner advice to somebody who is just beginning with SEO, what would that advice be?
um well, this is something that I know would probably work, is to reach out to someone you know who already know SEO, at least have a little knowledge of SEO, because everyone have different starting point in SEO. So I can't really say like, oh, you should do this, or oh, you should do like check your website, and then from there I don't know what the result is, so I really can't tell them a specific thing. But one thing that would definitely work is for them to reach out to a friend or someone they know whose website is doing well, or even if they don't know who it was, or just like another blogger or another um, website, they could just like email them and say, for example, we're doing the same thing. We're also I'm also looking to like attain the same number as you have right now. Where did you start? How did you start doing this SEO? Especially for like just starting out, for someone who just started doing website or didn't even do website yet and is planning to have a website.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay, perfect. That's a good actionable tip. I guess if you are thinking about getting started in the world of SEO and have no idea where you would begin. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Um,
and you can definitely reach out to me as well. Feel free to like send me a message, and I would be happy to like give advice and see how where you are right now, and then I could like give you a personalized um, starting point to begin with.
that's awesome. Thank you for that. That's really nice. So where can people find you?
Um, I'm almost everywhere in social media platforms. So I'm in Facebook, I'm in Instagram, I'm in Twitter, and I also have TikTok, and I also just started my YouTube channel. So
Wow.
yeah, so I'm kind of like all over social media platforms, and you can just simply search me in as Chris marketing strategist in Instagram and Facebook, and Chris in Twitter, as well as in or Chris Dano in Twitter, as well as in TikTok and YouTube. And I'd be happy to send links so they can find me also in your description box.
Yes, yes, those will be below. So as you're saying all of these different places where people can find you, I am curious, is SEO only for websites or can it be for Instagram and YouTube and other platforms as well?
Yeah, they can definitely be in different platforms, and um, that's why we have like almost hashtag is kind of like similar to keyword research or doing keywords. And I think Instagram just have the algorithm where you just write a keyword and it doesn't have to be hashtag anymore, and things or people or hashtag you want to find pops up, and or they recommend it to you. And yeah, I think it's not just for websites, definitely for other like LinkedIn and yeah, other things. And I'm also on LinkedIn, by the way. So yeah.
Okay, so does your agency also do that as well? They're only focusing on websites.
We are definitely only focusing on website, but my digital marketing agency is basically all offering like SEO and VA services. So we have individual VAs or yeah, associates who work on our clients as well if they want certain marketing services on their social media platforms like LinkedIn and email marketing or like Facebook marketing and even Instagram. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So before we wrap it up, is there anything else that you want to include? Anything that people should know more about SEO before we wrap this up?
Um, I think the last one would be like we have like a free blog content calendar that they can grab as well if they want to get started with writing blogs on their website, maybe the website is for. And yeah, I definitely can send them over so you can also get them into the description box for them to go into.
Perfect. Okay. And then I think you also have a Facebook group. I know there's a million different ways right now to reach you, but what
Yeah.
type of content is in that Facebook group? Who would that be for?
It is a Facebook group for coaches and teaching mostly about like digital marketing. And our VAs are also, our in-house VAs are also there to share everything they know about digital marketing within the coaching industry. And yeah, we are sharing like tips and tricks and also our content in there for free. And feel free to join us if you want to help coaches as well in digital marketing space or if you're a coach yourself.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. And then all of those links will be in the description box below. Chris, thank you so much for joining us here today, our SEO expert. I hope now everybody is a little bit more knowledgeable about SEO. I definitely know I am, and I also think I know if I were to ever need some SEO help, I would probably not go at it alone. It sounds like there's a lot to it. So thank you for explaining all of that and giving a beginner's glance into SEO. Um,
Thank you so much for having me as well.
Absolutely. Of course, it was fun. And be sure to connect with Chris on all of the different platforms down below. And if you are a coach, then definitely join her group as well. Thank you once again, Chris, and we will chat again soon.
Thank you.